Buongiorno, everyone. Hola, bonjour, and hello. So, I will never forget in early October of 2020 when I sung the founding father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry's song School Day, on the phone to one of my co captains, Gregory Lamont Gaskins, the um, Elvis Presley's contracted former electric rhythm guitarist, music director of Elvis Presley's Sweet Inspirations. So I'll never forget when I sung the father of rock and roll song School Day on the phone to the king of rock and roll's former music director of the Queens of Background Singing, the Sweet Inspirations. That Gregory was in charge of under contract with Elvis Presley Enterprises and the estate of Elvis Presley from 1969 to 1974. Number one. So, yes. Now, the Sweet Inspirations were co-founded by Whitney. Yes. Now, the Sweet Inspirations were co-founded by Whitney Houston's mother, the Queen of R&B pop's mother, Miss Cissy Houston, and Whitney Houston's two first cousins and the nieces of Miss Cissy Houston, Dionne Warwick of Valley of the Dolls, that starred Sharon Tate, and Dionne's sister, Dee Warwick, of the classic song You're No Good. Okay, so, um, and in early October 2020, Elvis Presley's former music director of the Sweet Inspiration says to me on the phone, Jorge, that was unbelievable. And that early October of 2020, when I called my other co captain, Robert Mousy Thompson, the former personal drummer of the godfather of soul and forefather of funk himself, James Brown, and I sung a verse from Michael Jackson's song Out of My Life from the Off the Wall album. And James Brown's former personal drummer said to me, Jorge, that was off the chain. And when I sung Happy Birthday um, to one of Whitney Houston's, the Queen of R&B pop's former background singers, uh, of Whitney Houston's mid-90s worldwide bodyguard tour, and I sung Happy Birthday to Sean Cole, another co-captain, and she said, yes, and she said to me, Jorge, you have a Michael Jackson sounding singing voice, and if you add Purple Rain to our eventual virtual remote setlist show performance or live performance, Purple Rain is my song to sing. While she was sitting next to a former Golden Gloves boxer mentored by the great boxing champion Sugar Ray Leonard. Now, then when I sung several months ago on the phone to my co-organizational manager and other co-captain, Rhonda Nelson Boglin, who was one of the customized costume, clothing, glove makers and designers for the Michael Jackson, as in the King of Pop, Thriller, as in the highest selling album of all time, and on behalf of his brothers, the Kings of R&B Soul Pops, the Jacksons Victory Tour. So Rhonda Nelson Boglin was a member of the 10-member Jazzbo Inc. team that did all of the clothing and costumes and gloves for the entire Michael Jackson Thriller Jackson's Victory Tour of 1984. And she made me a customized right-handed crystal glass glove that is stored at a most safe and secure place. Till it's showtime, till I do my Anthology Storyteller 6 showcase performances. And Elvis Presley's former music director of the Sweet Inspiration created and coined with me and for me one of the 6 set lists that I'll be doing of at least 7+ Elvis Presley songs and classics. But I remember when I sung Elvis Presley's That's All Right on the phone to Rhonda Nelson Boglin, one of Michael Jackson's and the Jacksons' former costume, clothing, glove makers of the Thriller Victory Tour. She said, quote, all right now, So, so there we are. And so now what this video log is actually about is that early October of, I did Elvis Presley's That's All Right to Michael Jackson's former costume clothing glove maker several months ago in 2023. But the others were in October of 2020. Whitney Houston's background singer was December of 2021. And now back to October 2020. I remember when I sung Jimi Hendrix's Red House to Julian Jr. Marvin, another co-captain of mine, who was the former lead guitarist of the king of reggae, Bob Marley, and the Whailers. And he was also the former guitarist of T-Bone Walker, pioneer of the electric blues. T-Bone Walker debuted on Columbia Records in 1929. He was the guitar hero, idol, and inspiration to 3 kids growing up, teaching themselves how to play guitar and learning how to play guitar, that would evolve as adults into Chuck Berry, the founding father of rock and roll, B.B. King, the king of the blues, and the one and the only Jimi Hendrix. I should also add that as of recent, several months ago, the professional songwriter, producer, guitarist, singer, brother of Jimi Hendrix, Mr. Leon Hendrix, and I became Facebook friends earlier this year. We've corresponded via Facebook Messenger multiple times. And the last time I heard from him was just 2 months ago, and he notified me that he goes where the music goes, and that he was in Turkey and Spain on tour. I think he's back now, because he was a part of an event, I believe, in Los Angeles just several days ago, honoring his brother's birthday, as in Jimi Hendrix. Okay, hold on here. So with that said, in October of 2020, I did in fact sing Jimi Hendrix's Red House to Julian Jr. Marvin, former lead guitarist of Bob Marley and the Whailers and T-Bone Walker. And it went well. All right, but here we are now. This is all exciting, isn't it? And astonishing. Greatest of universe, cosmos, air and space, time, life, earth, history. Okay, all right, next video log. All right.